Before Huntington Park became a city, this land was originally home to the Tongva people. It later became part of Rancho San Antonio, associated with the Lugo family. Over time, the rancho was divided, the land changed hands, and a small community began to develop. By the 1920s, Huntington Park had transformed into a thriving modern city, and that is where part one of our story ended. Throughout the 1920s, the population had grown rapidly. New homes were being built, businesses were opening, and Pacific Boulevard was becoming one of the most important shopping districts in Southeast Los Angeles. The city was modernizing, families were prospering, and the future looked incredibly bright. But then everything changed. In October of 1929, the stock market crashed. The crash did not create every problem that caused the Great Depression, but it became the moment that symbolized the beginning of one of the most difficult periods in American history. Banks failed, businesses closed, construction slowed, and millions of Americans lost their jobs. The prosperity and optimism of the Roaring '20s were replaced by fear and uncertainty. And although Huntington Park had developed into a strong and growing community, it could not escape the economic crisis affecting the rest of the country. During the 1930s, many families were forced to stretch every dollar. Families postponed purchases, repaired what they already owned, and depended on relatives and neighbors to help them survive. But Huntington Park did not simply disappear during the Depression. The city's population continued to grow. It had reached approximately 24,600 people by 1930 and nearly 28,700 by 1940. Pacific Boulevard also remained an important commercial center. The Warner Theater opened there in 1930, bringing a beautiful new Art Deco landmark to the city at the very moment the country was entering one of its darkest economic periods. Beginning in 1933, President Franklin D. Roosevelt introduced a series of federal programs known collectively as the New Deal. These programs provided jobs supporting struggling families and funded public improvements throughout the country. Across Los Angeles County, workers built and improved roads, schools, parks, public buildings, and other infrastructure. These programs did not end the Depression overnight. Recovery was slow and many families continued struggling throughout the decade. But public employment and infrastructure projects helped communities survive while also preparing the region for its next major period of growth. Then as the 1930s came to an end, another global crisis was approaching. World War II began in Europe in 1939. The United States officially entered the war after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. Southern California quickly became one of the country's most important wartime production centers. Factories produced aircraft, ships, machinery, military equipment, and countless supplies needed for the war effort. Huntington Park was ideally located near the industrial areas southeast of downtown Los Angeles, including Vernon, Commerce, and the communities surrounding the Los Angeles River. Many Huntington Park residents found work in nearby factories and industrial plants. Men entered the armed forces while women took on jobs that had traditionally been held by men. Families adjusted to rationing, food shortages, blackouts, and the constant anxiety of having loved ones away at war. The Depression had created years of unemployment. Now the war created an urgent demand for workers. The war transformed the economy of Los Angeles. Thousands of people came to Southern California looking for defense jobs, and factories operated around the clock. Huntington Park benefited from its proximity to those industrial centers and from its established streetcar and transportation connections. But the wartime economy also created pressure. Housing became scarce. Families sometimes shared homes, and the growing population placed new demands on schools, streets, and public service. By the time World War II ended in 1945, Southern California had been permanently transformed, and another major period of growth was about to begin.